15, but maybe even the Zerg will find out. We will find out. That's the worker bug. So that says in Korean over here on the bottom right.
Oh, and by the way, before people are starting to whine again about, oh, there are only 2 Protoss players. 7 of the 10 people that got a straight invite from the GSL are Protoss. Just to throw it out there so that we don't have this balanced discussion. 7 of the 10 people that were that are currently in the top 10 of the GSL are Protoss and therefore advanced, which is one of the reasons why the Protoss count in this qualifier is a little bit lower. Alright. Coming back to the game at hand where we don't have a Protoss player at all. We have a Terran versus Zerg.
We had the player intros. I don't need to repeat those. You guys can read. And if you can't, it's actually quite simple. I recommend learning. Seriously. How'd you get this far? Honestly.
Of course all of them can read. They had to actually type at least one URL into the browser.
And their mom could have done it for them.
You are such a mean person.
The mom could have done it. If mom did it, alright. Thanks, Mom. That's what you need to tell her when you're done watching this. You also need to ask her if she can buy you a book, or actually just write on a piece of paper the alphabet and begin to teach you how the letters come together.
I had a drinking game earlier. No. Oh god. Yeah, I actually think I did. No, wait, my sentence will make sense in the second. I started at the end and not at the front. I read a comment earlier where a guy said he had a drinking game involving your hairstyle comments. And I want to say that this guy must be wasted every single time he watches the GSL Code A or GSTL. I started at the end of the sentence, so maybe I had a drinking game early on as well. But
I
need to get some sleep.
I just want to know what this guy's hairstyle is.
I've been here for way too long.
We're both actually pulling. It's almost like the past 2 days we have cast like 6 days of GSL, but also tomorrow we cast 2 days of GSL in 1 day. And then the next day we have just 1 day of GSL. And then there are a few more days that happen a few days later. We've lost our sanity counter. I don't know, man.
Hyun against Polt now, TSL versus TSL. The Terran player is in the lead to the top left. We have Polt, the Terran player, now with the expansion and already following up with the factory here. Whereas at the bottom right, Hyun is down a game, and on Ohana he has to make sure that he takes the win if he wants to force the 3rd game, if he wants to have a shot at the WCS qualifier Korea in August. He's starting with speed pretty early this time. This is a really fast speed considering how we usually see those builds evolve.
Yeah. He got his gas really quick, and this may be a fast attack. The most important thing will be how much gas he's continued to mine. We'll see that very soon. Looks like based on the rate of income at the top right of the screen, he's not mining at all. Sticking it with the 4 gas. He mined 4 extra, but nobody's going to judge him for that. I mean, he just didn't pull it out fast enough. It's fine.
Yeah, the SUV dice doesn't get any scouting information. The range of the creep, of course, helps, and Polt starts with his Hellions once again. The last game really went his way, and it's very often that you see Polt in the beginning playing very passive, trying to make something happen with Hellions, but not overcommitting too much, then sticking to 3 bases, and the entire map is suddenly covered in creep. The Zerg play takes base after base, but as soon as Polt has this deadly army that he's comfortable with, he's slowly but steadily moving out, and he's not overcommitting, he's just slowly moving forward, and this is so hard to stop. We saw how Hyun struggled to face Polt's army, and the Terran player was able to cut down a few bases, the economy of the Zerg opponent, and then, well, the Brutals forced him back a bit, but he already had everything set up so that he had the answer in time. He had additional bases, a good income, built additional starports. It was a very good play, and now, of course, Polt once again with the Cloak Banshee transition, starting with the Hellions.
Polt has really found something here that works. He's done this build almost every single TVZ I've cast of him in the past 6 to 9 months. He's like, alright, well, let me tell you. He's like, it's like, well, guess what? I'm Polt, so I'm going to want to expand. Double gas, Hellions, Cloak Banshees, 3rd base, Maybe a third Factories game starts to get a little longer if I want to take a fourth, but not necessarily. And this actually is funny because he's so predictable, but even though he does the same thing, he just makes it work. He's found his way of playing this matchup, and he's not going to change it. Not even a little bit.
Why would he?
Exactly. I mean, with the success he's had, I wouldn't.
Never change a winning system. And Hyun is certainly no pushover in this matchup. Of course, there are stronger Zergs out there when it comes down to the Zerg versus Terran, but it is definitely not a pushover. And Polestar, it works. It really, really works. He's really good at it as well. And now he comes in with the attack again. The Hellions with good damage, but the defense for Hyun is solid, and he's able to force Pol back here while taking a third base.
And we'll see what Pol has planned for these Banshees. How is he going to use them exactly? Well, he's actually stopped producing them, which is pretty common to see. Going for the reactor. You know, the third base, the faster third base out the actual third base location is something he only did in the Entombed Valley game so far, but I like to see this, and I'm a little bit surprised he's not doing it again.
I'm actually, what I find funny is that we talked about Hyun's style, we talked about Hyun, that he really loves the Spire play, that he likes those mid-game compositions with Mutalisks. And of course Pol knows it. So Pol starts to build a lot of missile turrets immediately. He has like 3 to 4 of them, but there's not even a Spire. Hyun at this point is just going for an Infestor play. You can just see that this game is not just a straight Zerg versus Terran, it's a lot of mind games that are involved here because they know each other so well. So they are trying to fake each other out a little bit.
Indeed, it's definitely a good point.
Also something that you said yesterday, you mentioned it and Pol does it. You said that you think a lot of Terran players, when they are faced with Mutalisks or are afraid of Mutalisks, should not only build a missile turret in their production line, in their mineral line, but also make sure that their production is safe. And this is exactly what Pol did. He has missile turrets in his main base everywhere where he has a huge chunk of production buildings, like barracks and factories. So he's doing exactly what you advised.
Yeah, this is, I think, really important, because if you don't do this, you can find yourself in a lot of trouble. And uh-oh, these Hellions are going to find themselves in a lot of trouble fighting on creep, and that is a lot of Zerglings, an uncharacteristic amount of Zerglings for most Zerg players, but not for Hyun, really. Hyun, I mean, we saw him have upwards of 170 Zerglings last game at a time, and he just loves to keep the Zerglings to control things. Those Hellions got shut down, and this is pretty painful for Pol because they're not going to be able to buffer against Zerglings if he wants to move out anytime soon with these units. They're not going to be able to run and defend his third base if Zerglings run by there, so that's pretty huge. He did not really kill anything with this, and Hyun actually takes a supply lead from here, and he's got map control now.
Which he did on the last map as well, so this is something that Pol is, that Hyun is of course valuing, but he will not be too confident with it. He's going for the +2/+2. You can see that Pol is doing the same thing, just a little bit later than his opponent, and especially with the siege tank tech, he's going to be very safe against any kind of mid-game aggression that Hyun is really known for. But Hyun is going straight for the late game this time. He wants to have a late game composition. We don't have this crazy amount of Zerglings for him. He's just trying to attack a little bit faster to get those Brood Lords into play. Well, actually, I think with the composition that he's building now, and with him not getting a Spire, we will see Ultralisks here.
Yeah, and we can also see very fast 3-3 with this. Look at his 2-2 timing, finishing up right at that hive. And this is going to put him really ahead of Pol and upgrades. He's going to have 3-3 much faster. Look at that, not even halfway done with this 2-2 upgrades. Pol, not aware of the fast hive timing, does see this base over here, this one way that you can use Banshees and make them quite effective. No mutas, so the Banshee kind of has free reign like this. It's actually going to damage the hatchery quite a bit. And he canceled the cloak earlier, as we mentioned. So I like, just making a little use of this Banshee. Fungles it, make sure it can't get away.
Bye-bye Banshee.
It sounds like a movie.
And Sing said it.
Yeah.
Bye-bye-bye.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but I wasn't sure if that carried over to Germany during that time or not.
Oh, believe me, it did. My sister, oh God.
Well, everybody's sister was listening to that song.
Hardest time of my life, waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning at the weekend after a good party, because everywhere in the house you can hear, bye, 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 wanna be a fool for you.
Call me crazy, but it ain't no lie, baby, bye, bye, bye.
Call me crazy, but it ain't no lie, baby, bye, bye, bye.
Yeah.
We have to go to karaoke later.
I don't know if they have that song.
Oh, they have to.
I'm just kidding. I'm sure they have it.
They have Britney Spears. They have to have NSYNC.
What songs are you singing at karaoke counter? So I gotta know.
Britney Spears will Hit Me Baby One More Time. I'm actually not kidding. I
Oh.
know the lyrics by heart. I had to sing it once. And
Once.
the lyrics stuck in my head. Well, I actually had to learn the lyrics, so they stuck in my head. And I'm not gonna elaborate on this.
Okay. I'll accept this.
You can ask Naniwa. My performance of Hit Me Baby One More Time is memorable.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's good, but it's memorable.
I will take your word for that. I don't even have to ask Nania. He's got important things on his mind, and I don't want to stress him out. Now, this push that we're seeing start to leak across the map here has gone on to creep, and the drones are pulled. Hyun's like, well, I may have 123 Zerlings, but you have heavily upgraded Marines, and it's not something I want to fight right now. Making a ton of Banelings that are going to help him hold this. He's got the flexibility to do this with all the LARP he has.
44.
Yeah, 3-3 is not done yet, and he wants to wait for that, I think.
I mean, I would love to wait for it, but the problem is he might not have the time to do so because these upgrades are still a fair bit away. So he's going for a counterattack here, and it's a nice wall, and it's a pretty cool wall, but it's not a very solid one.
Oh, and this is not a solid one. Not at all.
He's moving in here, and this Thor is not going to do anything. The Thor is already dead, and Polt is on the move back as the Banelings are walking up the ramp, rolling up the ramp. Keep rolling, baby. They go straight for the siege tank. Will try to take down the economy. The Naturals already being attacked, and the Baneling trap. Oh, wow. He sees them, he scans, but a little bit too late. Most of the Marines are already gone. Polt on 125 supply against 169. Yes, Hyun may be on 3 bases, but his army is still going strong.
It is. He's going to start to lose these Ultralists, though. A good trade overall, taking out a lot of Polt's production, and he's even killing SCVs over here at the right side right now. Polt GG's. Kind of like a sudden death for him as he decided to go home rather than attacking. I think that may not have been the best choice for him, but that's the thing that he chose to do here. Legend, man. Don't do that. Some people.
I'm getting seasick.
Now look at the hair. See it leak through? See the hair leak through there? It's really showing. Our producer just gave an update. He said Legend has gone crazy.
Well, he's in good company then, I guess. I'm sorry, guys, but we've been here for way too long. We shouldn't drink hot 6 the entire time. After the 20th can, it's getting a little bit weird.
I think for today I stopped at 1, but I can't even remember anymore.
You didn't stop at 1.
Maybe 2. I'm not sure.
Well, the Legend dance, I love it. Okay,
The best part of it to me is the producer just comes in the air to confirm. He's like, Legend's gone crazy. And I'm just like, well, thank you.
Yesterday was a roller coaster ride, the Legend roller coaster ride, and it was brilliant. And I want to have that again. I mean, Legend, seriously, you have to step it up a little bit. I really appreciate the extra effort, but yesterday you were way better with the Legend dance. I want to have the full version, not only the preview.
I just want Game 3. I want to find out which one of these 2 players is going to
The
go through.
TVCs are pretty cool that we see here. Polt with a very nice performance on Entombed Valley. That was definitely cool to watch. And on the other hand, now in Ohana, we had Hyun just showcasing his ZVT. So it comes down to a 3rd game, and this is actually really cool. So let's see what they're up to, and of course also what map
It's
gonna